Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Jo Salmons. I'm an artist and a professional art doll maker. Every week I make something new, and it's not always a doll. I make all kinds of things and I show you my artistic process. This week I'll be showing you how I made my wall-mounted mermaid art doll, Lorelei. And don't forget to stay tuned until the end, because I'll be showing you her photos and reading you the story of the legend of Lorelei. Now, without further ado, let's get started. I use a mermaid doll that I previously made to measure the wire. I then twist the wire and add more pieces so that the ends can be fanned out into a tail. I then cover the wire armature in foil to build up the shape of the body. I add more wire for the torso and arms before covering in masking tape. I cover the wire tailbones in paper mache, then cover the tail end with fabric mache, which is fabric and PVA if you didn't know. I repeat this process on both side fins. I then cover the length of the tail up to the waist in a really weird new paper clay that I tried. I don't like it, but it's not going to be seen anyway. I roll out some of my usual creative paper clay and cover the torso. I then sculpt it to look like a lady's body. I cover the side fins with fabric mache and insert them into holes I've drilled into the tail. I then sculpt the face. I want to make this mermaid pretty and sad looking. The other mermaids I've made are really creepy and menacing and look a bit like weird sea hags with really aquatic big eyes, and that's not the look I'm going for on this one. I dry out the layers of clay in the oven on a very low heat. She's at a really ugly stage here, and I'm thinking, oh God, she's not going to look like a sea hag again, is she? But I push through the ugly stage and she starts looking a lot better. I use my Dremel tool to sculpt the ears. The head is then securely attached to the body with glue and then clay. I make weird looking webbed hands. When the hands are finished, I attach them to the body by wrapping the wire around the arm wire. I cover the arm in tape and then wrap with fabric mache. I paint the torso with acrylic paint and shade the contours with chalk pastels. Next I shade and paint her face. I then paint her arms black. To make the scales for the tail, I cut out individual circles with a hole punch. The circles are then glued onto the tail. When the scales are dry, I prime with black primer. I'm not happy with the tail, so I glue some string on to make it have a kind of ribbed effect. I then cover this with glue and tissue paper because I don't really like the way the fabric looks. When this is dry, I then trim it. I add ribs to the fins with 3D paint because I didn't actually think of doing this for the tail at the time, so I use string instead. And cover the fins with tissue paper and glue. I then use my mould collection to make fancy pants Baroque decorations for her body. I love the Baroque style. Baroque and Gothic are definitely my two favourite styles. When all the mouldings are dry, I paint the whole tail black, and then I use gold paint and mica powder, or mica powder, however you pronounce it, to make the moulding details stand out. I then seal with spray varnish. Obviously, I've got to add some tulle to her as I can't get enough of this fabric. The tulle helps hide the area where the arms join the body, and it gives a spooky tendril effect. I use strong glue to attach her hair. Now every mermaid needs a beautiful tiara, so I set about making one from wire and beads. Firstly I shape the wire, then cover it in a layer of glue and tissue paper. I seal the ends with UV resin as I don't want them to scratch the doll's head. I twist wire and beads into place to create the desired shape. I then add more UV resin to cover any scratchy wire ends and to secure the wire into place. I attach some eyelashes and she is done. Here she is, the finished mermaid art doll Lorelei. I've made a few mermaid art dolls before, but they've all been a lot creepier than her. I think she's my favourite actually now because she's so beautiful. As you saw in the video, she can be displayed on the wall and her arms can be gently moved into different positions. So she's kind of sort of semi-posable. Now, as with a lot of my creations, halfway through, I got a little bit bored and I wanted to do something else. I couldn't quite figure out what I wanted her to look like. I had a vague idea, but it wasn't coming clear enough. So I gave up on her for a little while. So she sat around for weeks and weeks and weeks until I finally thought, right, no, I need to get on with her. So I finally finished with her and I'm really, really happy with how she looks. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, as I've said, her name's Lorelei, and my daughter's name is also Lorelei. My daughter kept asking me, when are you going to name a doll after me? And I said to her, I'll name a doll after you when I've made a really, really beautiful doll. So I made her and she turned out so beautiful that I thought, oh, she's definitely got to be called Lorelei. And there is also a legend, a German legend of Lorelei, which I will read to you now while you have a look at her photos. Once upon a time, nestled by the river's edge, there lived a maiden named Lorelei. Her beauty was as enchanting as the melody of the flowing river. She waited each day for her lover to return from the sea, her heart filled with hope and longing. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, yet her lover never returned. Unbeknownst to Lorelei, he had been unfaithful and forsaken their love. The weight of betrayal crushed her spirit, shattering her dreams like fragile glass. One fateful day, consumed by sorrow and despair, Lorelei made a decision that would change her fate forever. With tears glistening in her eyes, she flung herself into the icy waters of the river. As she sank beneath the surface, a mysterious transformation occurred. Lorelei emerged from the depths, a creature of legend, a mermaid. But despite her newfound form, Lorelei's heart still bore scars of betrayal. A deep-seated anger smouldered within her soul, twisting her once pure intention. She used her siren song to lure unsuspecting fishermen to their doom, their boats dashed against the jagged rocks. The legend of Lorelei spread far and wide, a cautionary tale of love turned to vengeance. Steer clear of those treacherous waters lest they fall victim to her siren's call. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff, notification bells, all of that. That'd be great. Thank you. Thank you so much to the people that have taken the time to subscribe and leave me little comments. Absolutely means the world to me. Thank you so much. If you want to see any more of my photos and other videos, then you can go over to TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. I post there pretty much every single day. All the links are down below. And I also have an online shop where I sell all my goodies. So please have a little look-see there, and the link to that is down below too. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.